The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 5 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 4 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 3 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 2 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 1 minute. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 30 seconds. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 5, 4, 3, 2.
One mic.
I'm back.
It's the One Mic with Big Mike show. Live,
Ain't no goddamn tape.
interactive, and on demand. One Mic. Yeah, a sports show.
The best move of LeBron's career, man, was dragging his sweaty ball sack right across Draymond Green's the nape of his neck and getting that dude suspended.
And so much more.
What's going on right now with Donald Trump? This is America, and it tickles me to death when white people are so shocked and appalled by it.
What? It's the One Mic with Big Mike show.
Of course, it's like anything, like ammonia or you sniffing glue is gonna get you high.
You've been warned. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts now. Here he is.
He's real cocky, he's real loudmouth, he's real flamboyant. He don't cow down to people.
Big Mike.
Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. The One Mic with Big Mike show is back. Of course, I am your host, Big Mike, man. Here, live on Spreaker.com. I'm also heard live on the Spreaker app if you want to go get that and download that for all your mobile devices. You guys can also hear me live on TuneIn. You can hear me also on demand on iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music. You can also catch me on demand on YouTube. There's no Facebook live stream tonight. Also, make sure you check out the website, onemicwithbigmike.com, and follow me on social media at the number one MIC, WITHBIGMIKE. If you want to get involved in the show, there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can hit me up, like I said, on social media. You can also jump inside my live interactive chat room. If you're listening via Spreaker, you'll see a little thought bubble icon. Just click on that. It'll get you right up in the building. Also, you can text the show at 404-902-8104. I'm up in this joint, man. I'm here. Off the mend, you know what I mean? Had to take more than a couple weeks. Felt like a couple months off, man. So, excuse me if I'm a little rusty getting back in the saddle. Shout out to my man Mark Thomas. He's in the building. He's in the chat room already. Let's see, where we're going to start today, man. Also, before I go any further, don't forget, you guys, it's that time of year again, time for fantasy football, so you guys can get involved in the One Mic with Big Mike Fantasy Football League. All you got to do is send me an email to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. I'll shoot you the link. And all you got to do is click the link and it'll sign you up. Whatever. It's a 12 team league, PPR situation. I'm going to try to get some giveaways together for you guys. It's free to sign up to. You don't have to give me no money or nothing like that to sign up. We're just going to do it, have some fun with it. Talk some stuff here on the air, the Monday afterwards. I'm going to have, if we get the league filled up, which I hope we do, I'll get my man Matt Latovsky, give him a call. We'll break down some fantasy football with him every. When did we do it last year? We did it on Wednesdays last year, so you can get the lineup set before the Thursday game. So we'll get Matt Latovsky back on the line. If he had moved on up in the world and forgot about us. So if that's not the case, we'll get somebody else. But we'll do that thing again this year the way we did it last year. Since I've been gone for so long, I wanted to start off just kind of going through some of the things that I missed, man. Some of the things that happened in the world of sports and the world in general while I was gone and couldn't talk about them. That's one of the most frustrating things when you want to talk about something, when you want to, kind of vent. I stayed off social media for a month, and it felt good too. It felt refreshing. God, it felt good. You know what I mean? I was like, man, if I could just do without this, I'd love it. Social media it's designed just to make you stupid and dumb. And I got something about that as well. Some of the other things that social media is designed to do to you. Coming up later on in the show. My man, I am no dose. What up, man? Respect to you, homie. My man checked on me while I was out on the mend or whatever. Appreciate you doing that, man. I ain't think you bastards cared, to be honest with you. I thought y'all was going to be like, oh, whatever. Another dude, another one bites the dust. F him. Moving on. You know what I mean? But, man, shout out to my guy checking on me while I was gone. So, a couple of things that happened. More than a couple of things. I made a list, too. When I left, UMF was out here wearing rompers. I guess that thing is over. Hopefully it's over. You dudes running around here with one pieces on and all this. I'm hoping that's over. This is how long I've been gone. The Warriors won another championship. Beat the Cavaliers 4-1. That happened. The thing that I told y'all wasn't going to happen, that I thought it was just a bunch of noise being spoken, apparently will happen. Floyd Money Mayweather is going to fight before I go overboard and say they're going to fight. There's going to be an event involving a boxing ring and Floyd Money Mayweather and Conor McGregor. I'm not willing to step out there and call this a fight yet. It's like, it seems like some sort of exhibition, like Will Ferrell fighting a bear in what's the name of that damn movie with the minor league basketball team? You know what I'm talking, the Tropics. Yeah, it's like, it feels like one of those type of things, like some sort of clown show or whatever. But, y'all out here talking about it like it's something real. Y'all, some people that I really respect and have had on my show and I like as individuals are literally breaking this damn thing down like it's going to be a real thing. Have fun, man. Have fun wasting your money. If this is something that you're going to participate in and throw your money at, have fun with that. Enjoy that whole situation. What else? Oh, that kid, y'all see that thing about that kid who died after he got captured in North Korea? And like everybody, like the world had to stop. And I was kind of like, well, what the hell was he even doing there? And apparently he wasn't even supposed to be there. He was with his school doing some school stuff in China and just trying to do what white Americans do, feeling like I can do whatever I want to do and go wherever I want to go. He went to North Korea and didn't just go to North Korea. He went over there and started messing with their propaganda posters for their dude, Lil Kim, the dude that runs the place. Well, they caught him and locked his ass up. It's like, and this whole deal about like, dog, it's inhumane. Look, man. Everybody don't follow the same rules as America, man. Like, you don't just get to be white and have privilege everywhere. Sometimes these folks don't play them games. And now this dude is dead and it was supposed to stop the world and, whatever. And I was just like, all right. Look, man, stay where your ass supposed to be. That's what people, especially black mamas. Black mamas tell their kids, stay where your ass supposed to be. We go in here, don't touch nothing. He broke both of those rules. And for what it's worth, he ended up losing his life over it. Russell Westbrook in English, won the MVP while I was gone. Dwight Howard is no longer an Atlanta Hawk. For all the people who wanted to give me crap about how this was going to be awesome and Dwight's coming home. Yeah. Grand opening, grand closing, my friends. Phil Jackson, Carmelo waited that dude out. He what I call white lost, the way white people lose, rich white men lose. He walked away with millions of dollars after losing his job. Don't really happen to the bruh that much, that kind of situation don't really happen with us. If you guys hear anything that I might have missed that I didn't put on my list that I missed, bring me up to speed, man. Paul George, Chris Paul, those guys are on the move. Steph and James Harden got broke off crazy. The Jay-Z 444 album dropped and everybody lost their mind. Some people on one end of the spectrum and felt like Jay was preaching. Some people on the other end took it like, like life-changing. Look, man, the record was cool. You know what I mean? I'm a big, Jay-Z guy. I mess with most of his stuff. I ain't really dig the Blueprint 2 or 3. I think it was 2 that I ain't really like. The double album, I wasn't really feeling that one as much. Too many features, and I think it was too many songs or whatever, and it just wore on me a little bit. But like my album of the year is that DJ Khaled joint. That's like fun music, man. That new one when he's like shouting out his son like over and over and over again. Yeah, that's a fun record, man. Like it's cool. The Jay-Z thing was cool too, but it didn't like rock my world. It didn't shake me up. Like now I have to change everything I believe in life. Nah, it's music, and it was good music, and it was a refresher. It was something refreshing to the other Little Yachty and the Rich Homie Quans and whoever else and Futures and all that kind of stuff. It was refreshing to get, some real lyrics and some real meaningful hip hop for a change. But as far as it being life changing, it's what it is. You know what I mean? I moved on. You know what I mean? The homie Big L's in the building. What up, man? Yeah, appreciate you, homie. Appreciate you, dog. I'll get back to this one. The Summer League was set out by the ball boy. He couldn't figure out which shoes he wanted to wear. His daddy put out $500 shoes, and he didn't want to wear them joints. That dude is such a damn used car salesman, dude. And the UMF, some of the UMFers are falling for it, man. It's ridiculous, man. The NBA season's gonna start, and if you order them damn shoes, you still gonna be waiting on them like till November or whatever. Good for you. Kyrie Irving wants out of Cleveland, and I've got some thoughts on that. I've had some thoughts on that. I've been like tweeting and Facebooking about it or whatever. Finally, that damn shoe dropped on that Ole Miss situation. That farce of a program that we're doing it the right way. We're Ole Miss and we got the #1 recruiting class. Come on, man. You can't go that hard. You know what I mean? It's like you're like the dope boy who wants to ride around with the 80-inch rims and the bowling ball paint job. And then get surprised when the police pull you over and have you sitting on the damn curb and you pulling your seats out and got the dogs tearing your seats up. Like you yelling, I sell dope with that car. Same thing with this whole situation. And the funny thing about the whole Ole Miss thing, it didn't even crumble behind all the Laramie Tunsil, all the what's the kid's name that's out in Arizona now, the kid that played here in Georgia, the big kid, Robert Kimdichie. It didn't even crumble around that. Your man was making calls to hoes, like legitimate hoes, working girls, from his company phone. Like they weren't gonna check the bill. And they was like, hold on, what this number is right here? Yeah, it's like some sex service. And then my man was like, nah, I just, the number came up and I just called it back all those times. Yeah, man. Now they getting sued like Houston Nuts on the rampage because they tried to like blame all the bad stuff that was going on, the investigation and all that kind of stuff. They trying to blame it on Houston Nuts. He was like, nah, it ain't going down like that, cuz lawsuits is coming. And like, here's the thing about that whole thing with what's his name, Freeze. The whole thing about you calling hoes, I feel the same way about that I feel about like the Louisville situation where they had hoes dancing and banging the recruits. I don't care. So what? They 18 years old. They 18, 19, 20 years old. They gonna get coochie. You know what I mean? And if somebody else is paying for it, I mean, why not partake? You know what I mean? Like that whole notion of, these people being so holier than thou and having these complexes when it comes to their morality. Whatever, dude. Who cares? My thing is that, like, this cat, he carries himself and comes off as this, like, I'm so holy and love the Lord and all this kind of stuff. And now you pass this test. Yeah, let's see how much your wife wants to hear that forgiveness sermon. when you show up at the crib, you got fired from and you don't get paid. That's the thing. You get fired with cause, cuz, so they don't even have to break you off the loot. So he kind of black lost. He didn't white lose. Like the way you white lose, you get the money and you got to go, and you feel all right with losing. Nah, he lost like a black dude. They just like, yeah, don't let the doorknob hit you in the ass, homie, and good luck at the crib with your old lady. Damn, but good for them. Now they got some dude that's saying this is the perfect job for me. Yeah, of course. After your man you probably won't front them out. After your man got like booted out the door for calling hoes. Yeah, good for you. Speaking of hoes, Usher and R. Kelly were in the news. Apparently, R. Kelly's got a gaggle of broads that he's got like a harem of them, keeping them hostage or something like that. And they don't even know they're hostages. That's the kicker to it. And this time, my man got smart on y'all ass. They all overage, so as long as they like, nah, we good. We just here chilling with R. You know what I mean? Oh, what's that smell? That's not urine. I mean, whatever. It's not what you think it is. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, they cool, I guess. Usher getting sued by people because apparently he got the herp and he's giving it to folks. Did y'all see that girl? The girl who's suing him now, he didn't give her the hurt, but apparently she's saying that they had sex. Oh my God. Yeah, Usher was doing some big game hunting, pimping. She's a biggin'. And look, I'm just gonna say this, man. It's like, if I'm Usher, like I'm me and I wouldn't hit her. You know what I mean? And if I'm Usher and I know the type of brides that I have access to, it's gonna be hard for me to sit on the jury and hear her be like, yeah, Usher. As soon as she says Usher had sex with me, I'm be like, yeah, whatever, mistrial or whatever, innocent. You know what I mean? I gotta let him walk. If you hadn't seen this chick, just look it up online. The chick that's suing him, you're not gonna believe it either. She's got a hard case to make, unless she got some before pictures. You know what I mean? And be like, yeah, because of all the mental stress, my man made me, big girl. Maybe, dude. You know what I mean? Because, like, everybody got to love somebody, right? There's somebody for everybody. You know what I mean? I can't, like, logistically, Big L saying, he's in the chat room, by the way. You guys can join him in there if you go to Spreaker.com, Spreaker.com, or download the Spreaker app. Follow the One Mic with Big Mike showing it on the little streaming player. You'll see a little thought bubble icon. You click on that. He'll be inside the live interactive chat room. You can also text me at 404-902-8104. He's saying big girls winning. Maybe. But logistically, as a big dude, like, it only works if, like, my woman is small. You know what I'm saying? She can't be, well, she's tall. She's 5'7", but she's small. You know what I mean? Like, I outweigh my woman like about 100 pounds. That's how it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? I can't be big and then have a big woman. Like, logistically, it don't work out right, I don't think. You know what I mean? It's too many moving parts. And in my relationship, I've already called dibs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've called dibs on being the big one, the fat one. So she can't turn fat, or we have irreconcilable differences at that point. We got to go see a lawyer and file some papers or something. You know what I mean? What else happened? Oh, apparently, you guys kind of get to keep your health care if you're rocking with the Obamacare situation. Trump and his folks, they're some evil bastards, and they wanted to strip everybody of health care, and your man's still talking about, let it fail and let it kill everybody, and that type of stuff is going on. So apparently, we'll see how that works out. You know what I mean? Because the reality is, and the thing that don't really get talked about, and I'm hearing people talk about it more and more, because I've been watching so much more news than I usually have been, than I'm used to. The thing that people, when my man is saying let the healthcare system fail, the reason it's failing because of the of how unsure the providers are of what they're going to do, because they haven't figured out what they're going to do. So these people are pulling out of these markets because they don't know what to charge people. They don't know what the law is going to be. So to say that the Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act is failing, it's failing because the people who are in charge in the House and Senate and the judiciary and the executive, they're sabotaging it. And it's funny that, like, people need to be screaming that from the mountaintop every time they say some stupid stuff like that, like this failing Obamacare. Tell people why it's failing, the reason why. But that's the story for another day. Also, the Olympics are coming back to America. How you love that? LA's got 2028? Or was it 2024? 2028, I think, and then 2024 is going to go to London. Or whatever. I think that may be a good look for LA because they have the infrastructure involved, kind of like what was here in Atlanta. Like when it was here last time in America in '96, last time it was here, Atlanta got a good look, man, got a good push. People kind of say that's how the influx of homosexuals came to the city or whatever, because before '96, I don't know, but people came to Atlanta and saw that it was cool. It wasn't just the country. That was the stigma that was placed on my city before. Then the people came here during the Olympics and found out, man, this is a cool little city. And the city set it out. There was a bombing, so, that happened. But, the city bounced back from that. And, there was an explosion somewhat after 96. And I saw something, I think it was on Real Sports, that of all the cities that host the Olympics, there's like 3 cities in the last, couple decades that have come out of the Olympics better than they went in. Atlanta was one of them. I think it was Atlanta, L.A., and maybe Greece or something like that. Maybe it was London that came out better. Most of these cities, man, look at what's happening in Brazil now. All they politicians getting locked up, bribery and all that kind of stuff. You go to Russia, where they just had the other Olympics. There's all these buildings and these dorms and these athletic facilities. They call them white whales. They're just there. There's no other use for them than what they were built for, the Olympics. And now the Olympics are gone. They got to maintain them, but that costs money. So they just kind of sit there, and they call them white whales. And when you're flying overhead and you look down, they just look like these big white things, out in the open, out of nowhere. So shout to LA. I heard out there, like here, like traffic is a beast, but hopefully the people out there prepare for it. They're supposed to be getting like $1 billion or something like that to offset for some community projects. So hopefully it goes to the right communities, not just the white communities, if you get what I'm saying. Got a couple more minutes left in this segment. So what I'm going to do, going into the last segment, another thing that didn't happen, and still hasn't happened since I've been gone, Colin Kaepernick. He's still an unemployed NFL football player. And it's real crazy some of the things that have come out since then. Steve Young said he's surprised. Montana said he's all right with this dude not having a job. Joe Montana. Mike Vick Yeah, boy, y'all got your man, boy. Mike Vick said this man need to cut his hair. Maybe if he cut his hair, he get a job. Well, dude, remember when you cut your hair? It's because you cut your hair the same reason most bros cut their hair, because you went to court. This dude ain't got to go to court. He ain't did nothing. He ain't do nothing wrong. You know, he stood up for people who couldn't. He's standing up and stood up for people by taking the knee for people who couldn't do it for themselves. He took advantage of his platform in order to speak out on injustices. How that's wrong, I still can't figure it out in my mind how that's a thing. Ray Lewis decided he wanted to chime in because the Baltimore Ravens lost their quarterback. He's going to be gone for a little while. Joe Flacco with a back situation. They needed a quarterback, but instead of signing Colin Kaepernick, they went and found them a Arena League dude and decided they're going to go with an Arena League dude and Ryan Mallett. Enjoy that situation there. This is after, by the way. This is after that your man John Harbaugh was talking about. He was talking all good about Colin Kaepernick. And you figure, Ozzie Newsome's out there. Ozzie Newsome's a bruh. He can relate. But behind every executive black man, there's an owner white man when he comes to the NFL. And the white boys don't want them problems, or what they consider to be problems, the problems of Colin Kaepernick. No matter that he said that, I'm done with the whole kneeling thing. My point has been made. You know what I mean? You guys see the work I'm out here putting in. Didn't matter. They still, now it's about punishment. It's about showing him who's boss. And let me say this. I'm gonna touch on this again on the other side of the break. But let me say this real quick. The one thing the NFL knows about you MFers, that you full of crap when it comes to, oh man, we're going to look, see, as I'm saying it, I'm looking at my screen and Big L hashtag boycott the NFL. The NFL don't give a damn about your boycott, man, because you know what's going to happen? Like, for how long? Because I said it a couple of months ago, and if you guys remember, you guys who listen to the show, remember the Monday after Colin Kaepernick knelt, or after it became noticed that he was kneeling, the first thing I said that Monday was I wish my man was better at football, because I knew where this was headed. And that's not to say that he's trash, but it's to say that he's replaceable. He's not Peyton Manning. He's not Tom Brady. He's not even Cam Newton. Like Colin Kaepernick falls somewhere in that middling level of quarterback that Andy Dalton is quarterback that is like, if Andy Dalton broke his leg tomorrow, like Ryan Tannehill broke his leg or messed up his knee, it's like, oh, whatever. Okay, cool. Well, whatever. You know what I mean? And see, here's I Am No Dose. He's in the chat room. I'm not watching that ass until Cap get a job. If he don't get a job, I'll never watch the NFL again. I don't believe you. You know what I mean? Like, here's my description of the NFL. The NFL is that drug. It's that dope that no matter how much they step on it, you're going to consume it. You know why? Because everyone around you is consuming it. And everyone around you will be talking about it. And I don't believe, this is where I was going with what I just said about him being better. I don't believe that Colin Kaepernick plays in the NFL again. I said this 2 months ago. The last guest that I spoke to on this show, Dave Zirin, who was the only reporter that I know of that has actually sat down with Colin Kaepernick and talked to the man. I told him, he said he believed that it's going to take an injury, something that happened during camp. Well, those things have happened. And I said to him at that time, I don't think the man plays again. You know why? Because, again, it's not about him. What's Big L saying? 100% colonizers owners, unless you are glad of your slave owner, NFL don't want to hear from you. This is exactly right, because it's the same attitude that went on during slavery, when the slave owners and the overseers would beat the hell out of the biggest, strongest, most influential slave to prove a point to the rest of them that, you see what I'm doing to him? Just understand, this can happen to you too. This is the point that's being made from this Colin Kaepernick. It ain't just about him. We gotta keep these N-words in line. You know what I mean? Like, inevitably, we gotta keep these dudes in line, because we can't have them running amok. You know what I mean? Talking about social issues around here. Play football and get brain damage, which we'll talk about here in a little bit as well. Let's take a break. First break, back. That segment went swimmingly. Anyway, man, let's go ahead and take a quick little break here. We'll come back. We'll talk more about this Colin Kaepernick situation because I do have some more things I want to say about it. There's no Facebook live stream today if you're looking for that, so you got to catch me on Facebook. Catch me on Twitter. Oh, God, what am I saying? See, as I brag on myself. You got to catch me on Spreaker, SPREAKER.com, or the Spreaker app. Check out the website, onemicwithbigmike.com, or tune in, and I'll be right back.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
Hey everyone. Let's all stop what we're doing right now and take a moment. That felt good, huh? Just like that, we had a nice special sort of moment together. Of course, they don't all need to be quiet moments to be special. They could be loud moments, goofy moments, sporty moments, dorky moments. Moments where we talk or walk or just hang out. It doesn't really matter. They all count. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. Sounds like somebody agrees. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Today, call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
And now, back to One Mic.
What are we waiting for? Let's get to it.
With Big Mike.
Welcome back. I'm back, man. The One Mic with Big Mike show. Back from the break. Back from my hiatus. I'm being heard right now live on Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app. Tune in. And, of course, the One Mic with BigMike.com website. There is no live stream on Facebook today. Something's going on with the camera or whatnot, so I got to get that situated. If I was more professional of a human being, I would have checked it yesterday and got it straightened out. But I have it ready for Wednesday. Hopefully, I have a guest on Wednesday, too. I'm looking forward to getting former NBA player Cliff Robinson on the show. He's doing a lot of stuff with in the cannabis industry, or weed, as so many of you might commonly know it. And he's doing some cool things, man. And we'll talk about the cannabis situation and how the NFL is trying to change its stance on it here in just a second. I forgot to mention as well, at this point in the show, this is where I do my daily feature or my every show feature. I call it On This Day. I take a look back and give you guys some historical tidbits and factoids that happened on this particular day in the world of sports.
Now, let's take a look back. On this day.
All right, quickly, so we can get back into the Colin Kaepernick situation, Colin Kaepernick conversation. On this day in 1972, the Baseball Hall of Fame inducts Yogi Berra, Sandy Koufax, Lefty Gomez, and Early Wynn. On this day in 1983, the first World Track and Field Championship took place. Shout out to Usain Bolt, man. Usain Bolt lost for the first time in ever, and he didn't just lose. He came in third place at a track meet somewhere. I think it was his last one, too. I think he may be done after this one. So shout out to them. On this day in 1991. Oh, no, he's not done. They got the relays. On this day in 1991, the U.S. sets the 400-meter relay record at 37.67 seconds. On this day in 2001, Black Betsy, Shoeless Joe Jackson, 40-ounce, Jacksons. Let me read this again in proper English. Black Betsy, Shoeless Joe Jackson's 40-ounce wrapped hickory bat is won in a 10-day eBay auction. The $577,610 price tag is believed to be the largest amount ever paid for a baseball bat. Damn. And then finally, on this day in 2007, at AT&T Park in San Francisco, California, San Francisco Giants player Barry Bonds, he surpassed the great Hammerin' Hank Aaron as the all-time home run leader with his 756 home run. During the 10-minute celebration following the historic homer, a video message is played on the scoreboard in which Hank Aaron congratulates the left fielder for breaking the 33-year-old record. And I know so many of y'all still believe that the Hammer is the official and will always be the official home run king, but the record books say otherwise, and that is that. That is your Monday edition, your welcome back edition of On This Day. Don't forget, you guys can check me out, Facebook.com/One Mic with Big Mike. Also on Twitter at One Mic with Big Mike. Same thing for my Instagram situation as well. Also, text the show at 404-902-8104 to get your comments heard, or you can jump inside the live interactive chat room via my website, onemicwithbigmike.com, or go to Spreaker, sign up for your free Spreaker account. Follow One Mic with Big Mike on Spreaker, then click that little thought bubble icon that you see on the streaming player. It'll get you inside the live interactive chat room. My man Big L's in here waiting for you. The homie I Am No Doze, and of course Mark Thomas is in here as well. You're all excuse me, so welcome. Jesus Christ, what the hell just happened? I think I had a mini stroke just now. Okay, so back to Colin Kaepernick, right? And before I went to break, I was talking about the message that I believe is being sent by these NFL owners. It's not to him. You know what I mean? I feel as though they can control him, but if you remember last year, he sparked off a bunch of stuff, man. You know what I mean? Like Michael Bennett and his brother couldn't shut up. The Seattle Seahawks, they did some form of ridiculous whatever. A couple of the Broncos players, Brandon Marshall and them, took knees and all that kind of stuff. So he sparked a conversation. Not only, also, here's the thing too, because you got to control not only the guys that are in the league, you got to control the future workforce too. If you remember, one of the big things that came out of that, kids, the youth, was out here taking knees, cuz kids, little girls, little boys. One team in Texas, and I was trying to get their coach on my show, and I still might try to do that, especially now that Colin Kaepernick still is not working. One team in Texas got kicked out of the league because they wouldn't stand. What's the girl's name? Abby Wambach, the soccer player, the lesbian soccer player, took a knee, and her organization flipped out. USA Soccer flipped out about it. So if you're the NFL, you got to cut the head off the snake. You got to make Colin Kaepernick a forgotten man. You know what I mean? As best you can. And here's, like, you guys saying that you going protest, you won't watch the NFL no more. Here's the thing, though, man. Like, so if you don't get a job no more, you just done. You can say that now, but there's a reality that the NFL understands, that you MFers are so tribal. Like, let me tell you something. I can stop watching the NFL. You know why? Because I don't have a team that I associate myself with. You know what I mean? I'm not on one of these tribes that feel like I have to defend an entity that has nothing to do with me, puts no money in my pocket, only takes money out. So if I need to talk about the NFL on my show, I could do without it. I just told you guys for a month I was off social media. I was even off sports, man. I was like, I wasn't digging ESPN. My man Big L said a few minutes ago in the chat room there, he's like, he's sick of ESPN. I am too. You know what I mean? Because all the cowering down to the idiots among us. I hate Facebook. I hate you people on Facebook who feel like a sports discussion is making a post of 3 awesome players and like, you can only choose one. All right. You know what I mean? Like, if you put a post up and it's Antonio Brown, Odell Beckham Jr., and Julio Jones, all right, let's say it this way. Then if you have a 3-person draft and you get stuck, let's call it get stuck with the last pick, are you really gonna be angry? Like, you're like, oh man, I can't believe I gotta pick 3rd. Nah, you still gonna be good. There is no conversation to be had about that. But stupidity runs rampant. And it's easy. It's an easy, dumb conversation to have. What would Michael Jordan do if he was playing now? Why don't you jump in your DeLorean and tell me? Go get him from the 90s and bring him here. You know what I mean? And let's have that. Mark saying in the chat room, does Kaep want to play, though? He needs to sit down. Whatever. Like, nah. Like, that whole Stephen A. Smith thing, spent. The Shannon Sharp thing, like, Shannon Sharp he's getting there. You know what I mean? He's coming along, and he's really being tempered. And I don't really look at that show, but I read the stuff. Like, during my reading, I can read some of the stuff. Like, he's like, the Dolphins should be ashamed of themselves for signing Jay Cutler. I don't think so. Like, and this is the thing you gotta be careful about as well. Like, the Jay Cutler thing, at its very core, it makes sense. The Dolphins signing Jay Cutler makes sense because he's a guy who had a good season under Adam Gase, had his best season under Adam Gase. He knows the system. And for any other team, if the Colin Kaepernick situation didn't exist, you would expect a team to do that. Go get somebody who's familiar with what's going on. You know what I mean? So that makes sense. What doesn't make sense is when I start hearing the name Christian Ponder and I start hearing the name Tim Tebow, we gotta talk. We got problems then, because neither one of those things make sense, even to those guys. Like Tim Tebow and Christian Ponder heard their names and was like, "Wait, what? No, don't call me. No, I'm living off my old lady." And Tim Tebow was like, "I'm hitting home runs here in Suckville, wherever he's at playing baseball. Yeah, whatever." To bring those names up, that's disrespectful as hell. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy disrespectful. The Jay Cutler thing, I'm with it, because the Dolphins are gonna be the Dolphins anyway. They're gonna finish 7-9. So yeah, whoever's playing quarterback, whatever. But that, like the Ravens going and getting an arena football league dude, come on, man. Like at some point, you just making it obvious now. The blackballing is obvious. Where was I? Oh, Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban spoke out about it, and I'm glad my man Big L brings up one of my guys, man, Craig Hodges, the guy who was able who felt the need to bless the show with his presence at one time. He said it wouldn't happen in the NBA. Well, here's the thing, Mark. It had happened in the NBA. It happened twice, as a matter of fact. You know what I mean? It happened with Craig Hodges, former guest of the show. It happened with my man Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, another former guest of my show. It happened twice, you know what I mean? And I know it was a couple years back, and things have changed now. But you know what's changed in the NBA? The players have power, and they exercise their power now. Like they don't have any reason to fear management in the NBA. It's a different power dynamic in the NFL as we're currently witnessing right now. I didn't read what Big L said about Craig Hodges. I just saw the name. He said that Craig Hodges still the top interview of the. Oh, okay. He's talking about the interview. Okay. Only man to be in a 3-point shootout without being on. You sound like my man Callaway. Callaway loves that, man. Callaway loves, like, that dude didn't even have no jersey on in the yeah, that was whack, man. When they blackballed, or as Big L saying, whitewalled him. He was the leading 3-point percentage shooter in the league. I hope I'm saying that right, accurately. And I couldn't find a job, surprisingly. You know what I mean? It's weird how those things work out. And Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, same thing with him, man. So for Mark Cuban's sake, it's happening in the NFL, in the NBA, but the power dynamic has just changed. So you really can't do that in the NBA right now. And I'm sure a lot of these dudes would if they could. Or a lot of these owners would if they could. But yeah, they can't. So these dudes, these players, they say what they want to say. You ever notice that? The players in the NBA say what the hell they want to say. You know what I mean? Yeah, what you gonna do? Cut me? Guess what? You still gotta pay me. Let's ride. And in the NFL, it's different, man. They restructuring contracts. They putting bombs in contracts now, where they can like void people's whole contracts based on like missing meetings and all that kind of stuff. It's getting real gangster in the NFL, man. How they're messing with this money. They're dealing with this money situation. That's why I always tell people, man, like, don't freak out. We do it all the time. Like, somebody gets a contract and it's like, they're getting so and so much money guaranteed. Wait for the details. Always in the NFL, wait for the details, pimp, because it's like signing bonuses and roster bonuses, workout bonuses, all these things that you should be able to get. But if they cut your ass, you can't get no roster bonus. You damn sure can't get no workout bonus. You ain't gonna be there. You know, it's all these quote unquote guarantees outside of the signing bonus really ain't. 5-year deal. It's really a 3-year deal in the NFL. That's at the point where they can absorb whatever losses on the back end of it. So, like down here in Atlanta, people thinking that Devontae Freeman. I feel he said a good deal to him is a deal that'll make him a Falcon for life. I said, boy, you better stop playing. That's the most ridiculous thing anyone could ever say. That's not a good deal. Get all the money that you can. And then when it's time to move on, move on. All that Falcon for life, the NFL knows no loyalty. You gotta move on, B. I know it feels good to be here in the city. Got a bunch of strip clubs and restaurants and all that kind of good stuff. They got those things other places, and you can always come back. Go get your money, man. I never understand these NFL dudes and the way they're this cult like thinking that they have, man. And no one knows how to negotiate, seemingly. You know what I mean? And you know why, too? It's because of you guys, you idiot fans. Because the one thing that you do most consistently, you'll turn on the player, but not the ownership. Like right now, Le'Veon Bell is holding out. You know why? Because Le'Veon Bell doesn't have a deal. He has a franchise tag. And Le'Veon Bell understands he also plays running back. He understands his shelf life is very short. He also understands that when he does come to work, they probably going to franchise his ass again next year. Why risk it? The only leverage that you have is your services. You got to sit out. You got to do it. You have got to sit out, man. And as soon as you do, the fans is like, oh, man, screw him. He's so disloyal. Stop it. Grow up, man. Be adults. Anyway, back to this Colin Kaepernick situation. We talked about you guys, you know, about boycotting stuff. Like the NFL's gotten the money that they're going to get. They got it already. And by the time they need to get more money from the TV deals or whatever, guess what's going to happen? Colin Kaepernick, he would have been gone out of the league anyway by that time. By the time it's time to renegotiate. You think they care about your little 300 level seats? No. That's why every stadium they build, they get more and more luxury boxes. Y'all black asses ain't in them damn luxury boxes. They don't care about y'all. Yo, and I've said this for years. The NFL don't advertise to y'all. The people who are NFL fans, they don't care. They're advertising towards women, specifically moms, because they want people to feel like the game is safe, which is a farce, and we'll talk about that here in the second hour. They don't care about the people who they already have hooked on the drugs. We're all hooked, man. We're all hooked on the fantasy football. By the way, you MF for sign up for you talking about boycotting, sign up for my damn fantasy football league, man. For everybody else listening as well, send me an email to Mike at onemikewithbigmike.com. Put fantasy football in the subject line. I'll shoot you over the link to the NFL.com fantasy league. You guys can sign up and play some fantasy football with your boy this year. So no, man, the whole boycott thing, it might make you feel better for a minute. I saw somebody on social media do this. This was the most awesome thing ever because you can't get off the drug. He said for the first time in I don't know how many years, you know, I didn't watch my Dallas Cowboys play football. And I'm not going to watch until Kaepernick get a job. Then he says, I may watch. I'll probably just have to listen on the radio. It's like, who you think owns the radio rights? Or do you think those radio stations don't pay the radio rights? Of course they do. So you're still contributing. It's like saying, man, I ain't even going to go to Pizza Hut no more. But I'll let them deliver. They can bring it to me. You're like, come on, B. You're not proving the point. Just go ahead and dive in and understand. My biggest thing is just understand what you're looking at. This whole thing about people being surprised that this is happening is that's probably what's most amazing to me. That you thought these rich white boys were just going to overlook that. All these people, like I think 70% of them are out Trump supporters. And you thought they were just going to be like, yeah, all forgiven. Don't worry about it. No, hell no. Hell no. Because, again, they have to prove a point to everybody else, to the rest of the 80% of these Negroes that's putting on shoulder pads, to these young kids that's coming through college. Don't come in here starting no mess. To these kids that's in high school. Understand, man, if you want this dream to be a reality, stay in your place. Or what happened to him will happen to you. That's the overlying message to all of this. It ain't just about Colin Kaepernick. The league can handle Colin Kaepernick because it's the same thing they do with women beaters and drunk drivers and people who smoke weed. They handle it. This kid down here in Atlanta, second time PED user, 10-game suspension. You know what he's gonna be back? You know what he's gonna be? Back on the field when his 10 games is up. At least that's what the Falcons are saying now. They're not gonna cut him. Jalen Collins, they're not gonna cut him. I think him doing PEDs hurts the team more than Colin Kaepernick saying, hey, how about when the police kill a black kid for no reason, that they go to jail the same way I would if I killed him? How about that happens? Just some accountability. I think Jalen Collins being gone for 10 games hurts because he made the choice to take PEDs, hurts the team more than Colin Kaepernick. Quietly, during a dumbass song, that's all about show and ridiculousness. Like, no one's that patriotic. It allows you to fake it. for a couple of minutes a week. But because he peacefully and just sat his ass down, didn't bother nobody. Didn't bring nobody in on it with him, just said, this is what I'm going to do. Because I don't believe what you believe. That song don't apply to me. The things that are being said don't apply to me. But apparently, I'm wrong. Because the man still don't have a job. And here's the other thing about protesting. You got to understand that I have to understand because the man had all the right answers to every situation, every question that was asked to him. Excuse me. Damn. He had to know that this was a possibility. He had to know that this was a thing that could come out of that. And, it has. And going back to my original statements that, had he been better, had he been better at football, it may have been a little bit different. You know what I mean? But as it stands, he's very, very replaceable as they've shown you, man. You can go get let me go get this Arena League dude that plays on a 50-yard field to come play. Maybe we get the next Kurt Warner. Last thing on this. Unless you guys got anything else you want to add, but this is the death knell. This is the death knell. When Johnny Manziel comes out and endorses Colin Kaepernick, I'm good. Like, dude, you're the dude that shouldn't speak about this. No. I think Colin Kaepernick should be in the league. Bruh, come on, man. Come on. Even though what you're saying is right, it's not the message, it's the messenger. You got to back up, kid. You got to back up off that. Like, let this one, just let this one lie. You know what I mean? Understand that, we got this. We got this, man. Hall of Fame. Speaking of Kurt Warner, and this is the One Mic with Big Mike show live right now on Spreaker.com. Also on the Spreaker app and on TuneIn. And, of course, the One Mic with BigMike.com website. Text the show at 404-902-8104 or jump inside my live and interactive chat room or hit me up on social media at One Mic with Big Mike. The Hall of Fame, I didn't watch a minute of this Hall of Fame situation. I'm kind of done with that whole situation. I think I've said this before on the show, that after I saw Curtis Martin's speech, I knew it couldn't get any better. Like, if you hadn't seen Curtis Martin's Hall of Fame speech, it's one of the most awesome things. And I'm not a big speech person either, man. Like, speeches don't move me that way, because I think so many of them are contrived and people, of course, they got to practice them to make sure they're not stumbling and all that. But this dude just went off the dome, man. You could tell it was off the dome, too. You saw a dude apologize to his mom or forgive his mom in front of everybody for how she beat the hell out of him and told him that he understood. Why? Why? Because his dad beat the hell out of her. You know what I mean? You saw this dude talk about how he's never watched an entire football game. But he just felt like if he was going to do something, he was just going to do it all the way. Do it to the best of his ability. And he ended up in the damn Hall of Fame. A dude who confesses that he don't even like football. It's awesome. What is I am no those in my chat room. He says, Mike, you need to Stephen White on this. You need to get Stephen White on the show. He'll tell you the tape shows. No. This is not what. No, understand what I'm saying. Understand what I'm saying. I am no. I made this qualifier earlier. I'm not saying that the dude was trash, right? I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that that he wasn't Aaron Rodgers. He wasn't Tom Brady. You know what I mean? He wasn't Matt Ryan. Like, he wasn't one of those dudes that's like, man, this cat's irreplaceable. You know what I mean? He was a dude that, had he not had the protest situation, of course he'd be on the team right now, because he did play well last year. You know what I mean? He had, the second most rushing yards for any quarterback as well, to add to the statistics that you're putting up in the chat room. So he played well. And I've heard people who actually break the game down. I don't know Stephen White, but I'm going to look him up, I'm always interested in talking to people who know the game, who break down tape. But I've heard people talk about him on tape and talk about some of the things that people would criticize him for, not being able to come off the first receiver, saying that he did those things. You know what I mean? And yeah, he was on a terrible squad last year. He was on a bad, trash-ass squad last year. And still did well for himself. He had that one game that it was like raining horribly, and he got pulled from the game. But that was the, I guess you want to call it, the outlier of his season. My point in saying that I wish he was better at football was I wish he was the Colin Kaepernick that went to the Super Bowl. That guy who people were looking at as a generational talent. The guy who Ron Jaworski had once said that he has the potential of being one of the best quarterbacks ever. See, I wish he was that guy, because then you're that guy. You become more of a you don't become as much of a liability, or seen as much of a liability, because you're someone that people say, I need this guy. With Colin Kaepernick, it's more of like, okay, I'm saying without the protest stuff, it'd be nice to have him on the team. That's without the protest stuff. He'll be a good piece to have on the team to get us to the next guy or whatever. Kind of like what's that kid's name? The kid that's in with the Browns now, Brock Osweiler. Now, Brock Osweiler is a decent quarterback. He had a terrible season last year, but he's decent. You know what I mean? But he's going to always, from now on, be the guy to get us to the next guy. Unless something just miraculous happens, he's going to be the guy to get us to the next guy. That's who Colin Kaepernick would have been without the protest stuff. But now, if he was Colin Kaepernick going to the Super Bowl, Colin Kaepernick, well, first of all, he's still with the 49ers. You know what I mean? That whole thing is still going on. So that was my point in saying at the time, and saying now, that I just wish he was better at football, so that all the excuses that people try to make, the uninformed excuses as well, like, oh, there's no way he was going to go to Miami. He had on a Castro shirt. Come on, man, get out of here. Like, if people are that sensitive over a picture of a person, let's get it straight. There was a story behind that shirt. It was a story of Malcolm X talking to Fidel Castro, because when he came to America for one of those summits that they have for the world leaders, they wouldn't let him stay in the hotels on the white side of town. It was in New York. So the cats in Harlem was like, all right, man, we'll take care of you. Come through. You know what I mean? We'll put you up or whatever. You know what I mean? And this is when Castro was also speaking out on racism in America. And I know he did all these horrible things in Cuba, but the other point that Colin Kaepernick was making, and he even spoke about this, was how much better the healthcare system is in Cuba, how much better the educational system is in Cuba. They go free all the way through college. They got free healthcare. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, not the last 2 years. He had an off-season surgery. Big L's asking me if Colin Kaepernick was hurt the last 2 years. The off-season before last, he had an off-season surgery, couldn't work out. He lost a lot of weight and also went vegan. So, you remember when he first stepped on the scene? That dude was huge. I remember first seeing Colin Kaepernick. And this is when I was working at the radio station. And me and Chuck Smith, former Atlanta Falcon and Carolina Panther Chuck Smith, we was talking about him taking Alex Smith's job. And Chuck told me, he's like, if they put that dude in the game, it's over for Alex Smith. And I was like, Chuck, I saw this dude at practice, and I did not realize he's that huge. He was a huge human being. And then, because of the surgery and then the change in diet and things of that nature, he kind of fell off with the weight. He wasn't as physical of a specimen as he was. So that took some time for him, obviously to get used to. You got to get used to them, to those things, coming back off injury and then, breaking in essentially a new body. Those things took time. And once he settled in, you saw the things that I Am No Dose was talking about. You saw the passing percentage. You saw the rushing yards and things of that nature. But, it's like one of my guys, Jason Goff, says this about basketball. When somebody's good on a bad team, like somebody's scoring a lot of points on a bad team, he always says somebody got to get the buckets. You always know how good somebody is when they go to a team with other talented human beings on it. So that's also a situation with Colin Kaepernick as well. You on this badass team, you running for your life. Yeah, you probably gonna have a bunch of rushing yards. You know what I mean? My point is that I just for him and the cause, and I don't root for players. Like he's probably the only one, but I root for him more as a man because of what he's standing for and what he believes in. The things that I believe in. That someone in his position, that it's a good thing that he's taking it on. It's just a terrible thing. The people who want to blame Colin Kaepernick for this and that and the other don't want to look at the system that's vilifying him for standing up for people who don't have the same platform to stand up for themselves, and then be cynical about the other things that he's doing, giving away suits to parolees so they can get jobs, giving away all his Jordans, giving away his money, going to Africa, building things for the people in Africa. Oh, he's just doing it for publicity. That's the best you got? What you doing for publicity then? It's the One Mic with Big Mike show. End of hour number 1. Felt all right, felt good a little bit or whatever. I'm back after a long hiatus, man, here on Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app. Tune in as well as my website, onemicwithbigmike.com. Also, man, make sure you catch the show on demand on all of those platforms, as well as on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube. There is no Facebook live stream today. Try to get that back up and running for Wednesday, and follow me on social media at the number 1 MICWITHBIGMIKE. I'll be right back.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
We asked kids what it took to be a dad. This is what they had to say.
A father is always present. I mean, what real father figure can you have if they're not there?
In order to be a good dad, you need to love your son. You need to put gas in your car so you don't break down in the middle of nowhere. And you need to make them breakfast. Yep.
I mean, just to maybe play like a board game with me, or to just stay home and play some video games with me. Just to do like that one little thing is what I really look forward to.
I'm not asking him to be a perfect dad, but he should try.
He's just a constant force in my life.
There's no other type of love like a dad's love, because it's not comparable to anything else.
Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
One Mic.
All I need is one mic.
It's just different.
One Mic with Big Mike.
The overall tenor of what he's saying is very stupid.
And they say his style is too urban for the radio.
Maybe it's not racism. Maybe it's placism.
Brother has to know his place, right, Bob?
One Mic with Big Mike.
Things aren't always what they seem.
A sports talk show, but no subject matter is off limit.
Don't just tell me that the reason something's being done is because that's the way it's always been done. Because the first thing I'm going to say to you is slavery.
And now, your host.
I got the big homie here who needs no introduction.
Big Mike.
All I need is one mic.
You damn right. The worst reason for anything. Well, that's the way it's always been done. Yeah, you damn right. That's what them slave owners were saying. That's the way we do things. We own people. Damn it. Anyway, welcome to the second hour of the One Mic with Big Mike show here live on Spreaker.com. Also, the Spreaker app, spelled SPREAKER.com. Also on TuneIn. And, of course, the One Mic with BigMike.com website. I told you guys I was going to tell you about some of the things that science is telling you that social media is doing to people. And doing it on purpose, too. I don't know if you also realize, or if you realize that people have studied brain activity and how your brain works in order to get you addicted to, your Facebook feed and your Twitter and all that kind of stuff. It's actually like a dope man's model. You know what I mean? They know what you're looking for. They know how your brain reacts to certain things, these alerts and all these things. And even the way that you scroll through, it's done purposely that way. You don't swipe right or left. You could just scroll up and down, and for whatever reason, your brain reacts to that in a certain way. There was a piece about this on 60 Minutes. Wonderful piece. But in a recent study from a King's College expert found that a bunch of social media users are paranoid as a direct result of using social media. In particular, younger people, for those of you who got kids, are highly susceptible to social media-induced paranoia. 1 in 5 individuals suffers from paranoia. Psychologist has said that that number could dramatically rise as young people increasingly use social media. Indeed, the National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children last December blamed social media on a rise in self-harm amongst youngsters. It said that 700. Say it again. It said 18,778 children age 11 to 18 in England and Wales were admitted to hospitals for self-harm in 15-16, a rise of 14% in the year before. So yeah, the social media thing is real. You know what I mean? And it's done purposely to make you, antsy. And they talk about how, your heart rate goes up when you can't find your phone because you got to check it all the time and all this kind of stuff. It's a real deal situation. But getting back to the conversation, we're going to move on from the Colin Kaepernick thing because we got some other things to talk about as far as the NFL, concussions, weed, and all this kind of stuff. But last year, my man Big L saying Ray Lewis told Shannon Sharp, blacks always got shot. See, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, black people always get shot by the police. It's just the way they do things. Dude, at some point, man, like, I don't care how long it takes for me to be right about things. I just love being right. Like about Ray Lewis, I've said this about years. Ray Lewis is an idiot. Like when people was loving him and Ray was doing any dogs in the house and all this kind of craziness, I was like, this dude is an idiot. For the longest, and now it's on full display. Oh, blacks always got shot by the police. My man. Yeah, good thing your son beat that rape charge, homie. Yeah, hashtag never forget. My guy. You give these Negroes some money, boy, they get real enlightened. You know what I mean? Cut your hair. Don't worry about getting shot. It's supposed to happen. You're black. Jesus Christ, man. Oh, man, screw Ray, man. Upside the wall, man. Screw him, dude. You know what I'm saying? It's like these dudes, they're such cowards, man. Like, here's the thing, and I said this about Cam Newton. You don't have to say something. If you just a dude that's in your lane, you know what I'm saying? It's about you getting this money and you going to Trump Tower, hanging out with Trump and all these kind of things. Like, dude, just be in that lane. At least have enough courage to be like, you know what? I don't have nothing to say about that. It's better than saying something dumb. Oh, Colin, just let your play on the field speak for you. How is his play at quarterback gonna shine a light on police getting to go on vacation after they murder somebody? I ain't messing with you, Big L. You done got me riled up on Ray Lewis. See, tricks to you. I'm not gonna go there, man. Screw Ray Lewis. I'm gonna leave it at that. You know what I mean? Okay, so the Hall of Fame went down. Hall of Fame induction, Jerry Jones and who else was in the Hall of Fame? TD, Morton Anderson, Jason Taylor was in that situation. One of the old cats was in it. You know what I mean? That, it took like 50 years to get in the Hall of Fame. It was like, I don't know. If you won the Hall of Fame 50 years ago, how you won now? I don't know, but it wasn't 50 years. He said 1997 was the first time his name came up, and here we are, 2017. Whatever, dude. I'm done. I mentioned Curtis Martin, but the other reason I'm done with the whole Hall of Fame situation, I think a mockery was made last year with Terrell Owens. You know what I mean? Like this whole, it's one of those things where white men are trying to usurp some sort of authority and knock a black man down and say cower and humble yourself and all this kind of craziness, when the rules of the Hall of Fame say it has nothing to do with that. It's all about your play on the field. Like, they have actual rules, and Peter King talked about this as it pertained to Darren Sharper, the rapist, Darren Sharper, former NFL safety, that he has Hall of Fame numbers, but he liked to drug women and rape them. But the Hall of Fame specifically says, I call it the Lawrence Taylor rule. You can't take into consideration anything outside of football. So all this, we don't like T.O. He's a cancer in the locker room. What, you was in there? You was a teammate? You a writer, B? Do your gig. So because of that, now this year, Ray Lewis and Randy Moss. I meant to pull the list, as a matter of fact, but I forgot. Randy Moss, they come up this year as well. Two dudes that have ingratiated themselves with the white media. They love those dudes now. One dude stabbed a dude here in Atlanta, allegedly. Randy Moss hit a cop with his car. Got kicked out of a bunch of schools. Y'all saw the whole Rand U situation on ESPN. As far as I know, T.O. ain't had no run-ins with the law. He just run his mouth. He's flamboyant. He talk a bunch of crap. You know, piss white people off. Because of course, when you're that good, you have to be Marvin Harrison. That's all you have to do. You have to be Marvin Harrison, who, by the way, he still got a body on him. I keep bringing that up to y'all because it's true. He still got an open investigation on him for murder. He's still a person of interest, dude. But he was quiet on the football field. He ain't make no noise. He got paid. He was rich and good at football, but he ain't let white people know about it. He ain't let white people know how rich and how good he was. So they was cool with that. Who, by the way, also got into the Hall of Fame last year. And then decided he was gonna ish on T.O., who said nothing about the dude, but Marvin Harrison got on radio and was like, F that dude. Like, wait, hold on, cuz. Like, how you get to that point? But again, like, when you Marvin Harrison, you know nobody don't really want to rock with you like that. You know what I mean? Because people know. You see T.O. ain't say nothing bad. He was like, my bad, dog. Because, you just don't rock with Marvin Harrison like that. But that's cool with the NFL. So I'm good on the whole Hall of Fame situation. I heard LaDainian LT, he stood up and said some stuff, man. About the state of the country right now. So shout out to him. He took the situation, or took the time, I guess, the spotlight and shined it on some real important issues. Also, before I go any further, man, shout out to those people, man. Shout out to the Muslim folks up in Minnesota, man. They got that mosque bomb, man. Am I saying that right? The mosque got bombed up there, and you know what kills me? How if it's you always know when it's somebody white that did it, because they have to determine whether it was a terrorist act. Wait, hold on. If it was somebody brown named Ali or Muhammad, immediately we going straight there. ISIS immediately. The white boy shoots up a movie theater. I do believe those people were terrorized. He go to the baseball field and shoot up some senators. Them folks sounded like they was terrorized to me. Oh, but they determined it's not terrorism. Wait, what? Yeah, somebody got to figure out what the real definition of terrorism gonna be. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Like, tell me what it is so I know. Because what it sounds like to me is, if you're brown or black, terrorism. If you're white, we'll find something else to call it. I don't want to put that stigma on a white guy. So TD stood up and did his thing. Didn't see. I saw Jason Taylor cried about something. Don't know what that was about. I'm sure Kurt Warner, he had some stuff in there about the Lord and all the kind of stuff. He's a real religious guy. Saw Jerry Jones. Didn't see what he talked about, but they flashed his, him up there or whatever. But no, I didn't rock with it at all. Because the whole thing to me it's a sham. It's ridiculous and stupid. And at this point, because now what you gonna do next year? You got T.O. and Randy Moss. You gonna try to prove a point again next year and just put Randy Moss in and leave T.O. out. You know what I mean? Like, Randy Moss be only the second. He's the second or third wide receiver to go first ballot. Yeah, whatever. To me, it's irrelevant to me. Anyway, I know the people who I think are awesome and good. I felt like this year's class was underwhelming. You know what I mean? I think Jason Taylor was cool, but I think LT was an awesome running back. Here's the crazy thing about LT that I don't know if a lot of people know this. There was a year that the running back, it seemed like so long ago, that the running back position was so ill. LaDainian Tomlinson rushed for over 1,000 yards and caught over 100 balls and didn't make the Pro Bowl. Not as an alternate, none of that crap. He didn't make it at all. Think about that. The running back caught 100 balls and still rushed for over 1,000 yards. No Pro Bowl for you, LT. That's ridiculous. Oh my gosh. Some of the other stuff is coming out that's going on in the NFL right now. You realize this thing with Ezekiel Elliott has been going on over a year now, with the NFL saying they're investigating this domestic abuse situation. I thought the thing, the law said this girl was lying, and they got text messages of her texting her friends saying, "I need y'all to say this for me, because he ain't gonna just do me like this. He ain't just gonna leave me behind." Trying to get people to lie for her, and then the people who she was trying to get to lie for her was like, "Yeah, look, here's my phone." She was trying to get me to lie for her. So what the hell what is the NFL investigating still till right now? To the point where Chris Carter is saying that he has information that the NFL is going to suspend Ezekiel Elliott here pretty soon, and it's going to be on some Tom Brady stuff. Chris Carter saying, I guess he was on that Shannon Sharp show, maybe. Which one is he on? Undisputed? Is that the Shannon Sharp show? Or is that the one with Colin Kaepernick? Colin Cowherd. Either way. Chris Carter says, quote, in the next 48 hours, I would be shocked if Zeke was not suspended. I think that includes today and tomorrow, maybe. Or is that yesterday and today? Either way. The quote goes on, based on the information that's going to come out, it's going to be fairly easy to determine that something happened to this woman in her four days of being with Zeke, end quote. He described the situation as a case of, quote, assault or domestic violence, end quote. Quote, when the information comes out, there's going to be some similarities, end quote, to Tom Brady's suspension, including, quote, information that he had been advised possibly to give up that was destroyed. So he's referencing Tom Brady destroying his cell phone so that the NFL couldn't get the information, the text messages, I guess, about the deflated balls. And apparently he's saying also that's what Ezekiel Elliott has done. There was some information on the cell phone that he destroyed that the NFL couldn't get. Like, here's the deal, man. Like, this is where the NFL has gone now. They want to be a investigative unit. They want to be the police. The police said the dude didn't do it. They had an opportunity to charge him. He said he didn't. They said they had evidence of not even insufficient evidence. They had evidence of the contrary, that the girl was lying. But they still, like, and let me tell you why this is also a bad look for the NFL if they do decide to do this and the evidence is of the contrary. Like, if they don't make the evidence in which they're going to use to punish this dude, if they don't make it public, it's going to be a bad look, because then you put the stigma of being a sexual assaulter on this kid. If in fact he didn't. I hope you guys saw what his daddy said. His daddy was like, oh, okay. You think it's going to be a situation? Well, all right. It's going to be on there. Like, we ain't going to take this line now, because that's something that you don't really come back from. Like, somebody saying that you're a rapist or you're a sexual assaulter, that's a bad look. But they taking their sweet time on it, man. I don't know what the hell. What's taking this long? You know what I mean? It didn't take y'all this long to do Ray Rice? Oh, because it went on video. Okay. Video. The NFL need indisputable video of a dude knocking the broad out for it to stick. Nah, whatever. Because no, you don't. Because when he had it, you only gave Ray Rice one game, and then people started losing their damn mind. He was like, "Wait, no, we didn't see no video. We couldn't get it." But somehow TMZ got their hands on it. You the NFL. Crazy. Like, no, everybody want power until they expected to have it, and then it's like, "Oh man, we didn't know. We had nothing to do." So we'll see. Like, I don't root for either side of the situation. Like, if he did something, of course you should be punished for it. You know what I mean? But you should be punished by the law for it as well. You know what I mean? If you're out here beating up broads, yeah, you should be punished by the law for it. The law said nothing to see here. She's lying. We have text messages of her telling people that she needs them to lie for her. At least that's what I remember from what happened when they said we won't bring any charges. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe somebody looked something up and said there was some sort of, scraggling thing out there. I don't remember it. The other thing that's going on in the NFL, it happens pretty annually. A concussion study came out a few weeks ago, maybe last week or so, week before last maybe, on the brains of 111 former NFL players whose families suspected that they had CTE, so they donated their brains to science. And a doctor, and I can't remember her name. Forgive me, I want to get her on the show, and I did highlight it somewhere. Here it is. I want to make sure I give credit to the person. I'm sorry, it's not where I thought it was going to be. She's a oh, the damn name isn't here. It just says Boston University School of Medicine, the VA Boston healthcare system, that showed 110 out of 111 former NFL players who donated their brains to science showed signs of chronic traumatic encephalopathy, aka CTE. That's the NFL's problem right now. It's not Colin Kaepernick. You guys will get over Colin Kaepernick because it's the NFL. Their problem right now is pushing this narrative that the game is safe or safer. A lot of people making a lot of money off of new helmets, turf development, things that are going to cushion your fall and things of that nature. And all they're doing, they're taking advantage of people's ignorance and taking advantage of the ignorance of moms, parents alike, that you can take concussions out of football or minimize concussions in football vis-a-vis technology and equipment. That's wrong. The reason being is that if you know what a concussion is, the minute you know what a concussion is, you realize there is no helmet. There is no bouncy turf. There is none of that stuff that can prevent it. You can get a concussion without your head hitting anything. Just like a whiplash motion of your head can cause your brain that's inside your skull, floating around in goo, to slam up against the walls of your skull, the inner walls of your skull, causing a concussion, causing head trauma. Unless you can put a helmet around the brain, it is what it is. The NFL is continuing. They're already paying $1 billion out because they lied to people, and they continue to promote a lie as it relates to this issue of concussion. Just today, Boomer Esiason, former Bengals quarterback, also host of the the Boomer and Carton show. What show is he on? Anyway, they have a radio show in New York. He says he might have CTE. Quote, if I died tomorrow and my brain was taken and researched and it was found that I had CTE, which I most likely have, end quote. He also says, quote, all football players probably have it. The way I read it and the way I see it, end quote. Like, that's a thing that you can't do if you're him. Because there's no guarantee that all football players have it. To say that that's kind of irresponsible. Just as irresponsible as the kid from the Jets the other day was like, that dude was like, man, a football field is a perfect place to die. Yeah, says the 20-year-old. Say that when you 40, man, and you got kids and you want to see them grow up and you can't remember their names. Somebody need to introduce that dude to Steve Gleason, cuz, who I don't know, a decade ago, a little bit, when was that? Whenever that was, this dude was blocking punts in front of 80,000 people. Now he gotta talk with his eyes, cuz the disease has degenerated his body so much. This Lou Gehrig's disease that he has now, which is a symptom of, all the head trauma and whatnot. This real deal Holyfield. So like, so many of these guys, man, they live in these worlds, this world of ignorance, and they reside there, and they feel like, oh, the game is getting safer. They're teaching us how to tackle better, not understanding that none of that matters. Like, understand what you're doing. Like, I'm not, like, whatever. Football is football, There's concerns that I have, I played football all the way through college. Me and my man was sitting around talking one day about that kind of stuff. Like, how we was, we didn't even know really what concussions were and all that kind of stuff. We just, we shook stuff off. Like, if you didn't get knocked out, you probably ain't had no concussion. That's wrong. That's inaccurate as hell. But that was, that was the mid-90s. Now information is available. So when people act stupid about this kind of stuff, it's like you're being willfully ignorant. You don't want to know because you feel like if you know, you're inviting it. Nah, if it's going to happen to you, it's going to happen to you. You know what I mean? If you're going to get bit by that CTE bug, it's going to bite you. Boomer Esiason goes on to say, the more we learn about our brains, the better it is for the guys who are playing today. The good news for the guys who are playing today, especially those who are playing for a long period of time, is they get paid a hell of a lot more money than we did. They have much better benefits and retirement. And he's right. That's why so many of these guys, somewhere around, I think, 34 guys in the last year or two. Where is it? 34 players under the age of 30 retired from the NFL in the last 2 years. Yeah, these dudes are getting their money and running for the hills. Shout out to them. So when you start seeing these football players being envious of these NBA deals, you'll never get it. Ever. Because the last thing these NFL owners want to happen is like some 28-year-old dude signing his second contract, and in like the second year and be like, you know what? I'm good. I'm all right. I mean, this head trauma thing got me thinking I need to move on. Nah, man. It's never happening. Ever, ever, ever. Guaranteed contracts. I think they should get them. No doubt. Just by the virtue of how violent the sport is. But ain't no love. Ain't no love, man. Keep banging your heads against each other, turning your brains into Jell-O pudding, and we'll enjoy it. I will. Of course, Big L and I Am No Doe is going to boycott it. I'm not. I mean, what else am I doing on Sunday? Like right now, it's all about Netflix and Amazon Prime. On Sunday, football come back, it'll be about that. You know what I mean? But I understand what I'm looking at, man. I understand what I'm looking at. And I think that's a bigger part of it, or that's as big a part of it. You guys do what you're going to do, shout out to you, fist in the air for you. Another study came out today about high school football players, how the numbers are dropping. The number of high school football players dropped by 25,901 participants in 2016-17, according to a report by the National Federation of State High School Associations. Excuse me. Football, of course, is still king. Got the most numbers, somewhere around 1,086,748 in total. 61 schools added football to their programs in 2016-17. Schools are dropping football as well. Based on insurance stuff. It's just too costly to carry it because of some of the stuff that the kids are experiencing as far as injuries and things of that nature are concerned. According to a survey last week from the California Interscholastic Federation, football participation in California actually decreased by 3.12% over the past year and about 10% over the past decade. And that's California, cuz that's one of those hot, like California, Florida, Texas, Georgia. Those are like the big boys, man. Like when football starts going away in those places, it's time to start taking notice. You know what I mean? And the NFL understands, man. And so all the things that we've been talking about today, man, it kind of feeds into that NFL lust of making sure that the workforce is going to still be there in 10 years and 20 years. And like right now, everything's cool. Everything's cool and copacetic or whatever. They probably feel like the NBA is in a little bit of a bubble, and that bubble is going to burst eventually because people are talking about, bad contracts is the term. People getting bad contracts in NFL and NBA owners having to live with those bad contracts and so forth and so on. The NFL don't have such problems. They don't have those problems. The contract's only bad for the players. And like I mentioned earlier, getting worse. For the second consecutive year, football participation decreased by more than 3%. Nationally, participation has declined slightly, about 1% in the last 5 years. The NFL, you got to understand, they're taking notice to these things, man. These numbers aren't, because what they want, they don't want any decline. They want an increase. They want more. They want more of a workforce and more of a potential workforce. Tom Brady spoke out about, you remember during the offseason, his old lady was talking about how he got all these concussions, he come home with concussions. Well, apparently Tom Brady's saying his concussions are none of your business. Maybe. And he's probably right. I don't care. I don't care if Tom Brady got concussions. You know what I mean? Because I subscribe to this theory. I always want to see the best players on the field, on the court at all times. So whatever they do to themselves to get them there, I'm fine. Like I can't legislate that. I'm not a moralist when it comes to that kind of stuff. Nah, I don't want to see Jimmy Garoppolo the same way I don't want to see Ryan Mallett. I really don't want to see Joe Flacco either. But whatever, you get what I'm saying. I don't want to see these bums on the field. I want to see the best always. That's why I watch professional sports. I want to see the best do what the best do. So Tom Brady's like, look, man, don't worry about how many damn concussions I got. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. Tell your lady to shut up though. Like, tell her to stop putting your business in the street. Secondly, because then, folks gonna want to be nosy. And like, man, Tom Brady had concussions. And in 10 years, when you got the mumble mouth and you can't hardly remember nothing, you turn to Jim McMahon, people going to be like, look, see, his wife, he tried to tell us. That's all this stuff is about. They get people on the record now. So that after he retired, he said he's going to play till 50 or whatever. I don't see that happen, but whatever, And if he does, I got questions, plenty of them, especially when if you want to know about Tom Brady, look up his business partner, his health guru. Yeah, he's a snake oil salesman. You know what I mean? He got Tom Brady feeling invincible some kind of way. Yeah, kind of like that dude who was supplying my man Alex Rodriguez, who went to jail behind that stuff. Kind of like that. But he's all entrenched in the organization and everything. This dude that Tom Brady rock with. Yeah, just look it up. Yeah, you'll see what I'm talking about. Tom Brady that found the fountain of youth. Yeah, bet. Bet. I'm skeptical of everybody. All these cats be talking about, yeah, I feel better at 40 than I did at 20. Really? How? I'm 40 now. I definitely don't. I remember how virile I was at 20. Hell out of here. All right, so we'll come back. Last segment of the show. You know, think I've rocked on a little bit, gallantly today. First show back in a while here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. We'll come back, get into some NBA talk. I want to talk about Kyrie Irving, Doc Rivers, the whole situation that's going on out there in L.A. And Mikhail Prokhorov, he won a bunch of money if he's going to sell that team up there in New York, in Brooklyn. He won a hell of a lot of money, so we'll talk about all that coming up next on the One Mic with Big Mike show.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover guitar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
And now back to One Mic with Big Mike.
And here we go!
Joe Crack. Really more.
This is.
Welcome back. Last segment of the show here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. Don't forget, if you missed any portion of the show, you want to catch up, you can do so on demand on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app. Download it for your mobile devices. You can also catch it on TuneIn, the OneMicWithBigMike.com website, as well as on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and of course, YouTube. Follow me on social media at the number 1 MICWITHBIGMIKE. You can still get your comments in via the text line at 404-902-8104. Also, you can jump inside the live interactive chat room here on Spreaker.com. Just go to Spreaker, sign up for your free Spreaker account. Follow the One Mic with Big Mike show, then click the little thought bubble icon, and it'll get you up inside the live interactive chat room. You can also do the same thing via the OneMicWithBigMike.com website as well. From the text line, 404. From the 404. What up, Mike? The show sounds great concerning Kaep. It will never happen, but if enough of the premier black football players boycotted, got behind him, again, he'd be on a roster again. That will never happen. Yeah, it'll never happen. Because those contracts them cats need their money. You know what I mean? Those are the chains that bind them. Those contracts. You know what I mean? In the NFL, NBA, I can see it happening. You know, I can see those kids, those guys coming together in solidarity. I can definitely see it in the WNBA. Them girls don't play. Like, some stuff go down, they all in, B. Like, I don't watch WNBA basketball just because it's not entertaining to me. But I respect the hell out of those women. You know what I mean? Like, it has nothing to do with me not wanting to watch, them play basketball because, I like to see people rim rock and shoot from deep and get crazy buckets like KD style and LeBron and Steph Curry. You don't get that from the LA Sparks. You know what I mean? It bounce passes and fundamentals, and I ain't, the fundamentals ain't fun to me. I want to see ratchetness and, all kind of like ridiculousness. But yeah, the NFL, they know they got them dudes by the balls, man. You know what I mean? They just want to squeeze tighter with this Colin Kaepernick thing. You guys still rock with Madden? Madden's about to come out again. The The Madden ratings is out, and I know the players kind of vibe with that a little bit. A couple of perfect ratings. I guess Tom Brady got a 99. That's the highest you can get. Aaron Rodgers got a 98. Le'Veon Bell's in there at 97. Julio Jones. I saw Julio Jones at 98. There's a couple of perfect scores, but Von Miller got a 99 as well. Who else? I think somebody else got a 99. You know, some of the rookies, Christian McCaffrey's in there at 81, and Leonard Fournette's in there at 81 as well. Myles Garrett got at 83. Yeah, man. I hadn't played Madden in like years, man. Hopefully I can get somebody on from EA Sports. We used to talk to somebody from EA all the time back at the radio station. I'm gonna see if I can do that. It's if you guys want to hear from them. I don't know, because I don't rock with this anymore. I think the new gig is that is esports. And I don't think Madden's a part of that. I think the esports has to do with like those virtual worlds and all that kind of stuff. I'm not sure. I'm still trying to get a guest from that realm too to kind of get me to understand what it is. But it's something that a lot of people are like getting into. Some of these big money guys and people like that are investing in. And I want to know more about it. So hopefully we can get all that, squared away as well. To the land of the NBA. Speaking of the National Basketball Association. One of the things that happened while I was out, Kyrie Irving says he wants out. Went to management and said, I want out of here, man. And people are real. I don't know, man. Like y'all kill me. Fans kill me. How the one league, but like the black folks, the players, the labor, they have power and they're not afraid to use it. They're willing to use it to get what they want. They catch the most crap from y'all, man. From the fans. Oh, man, Kyrie, he ain't no primetime player. He can't go nowhere and lead. He don't even want to win. Like, all this kind of craziness is like, what do you mean he don't? And again, and I'll say this the way I said it on social media. It depends on how you define winning. Because he's already got a championship. He's got an all-star game MVP. He's got a three-point shooting championship. He's done plenty of quote-unquote winning on the basketball court, but now it's time for him, I feel like this is what he's saying, he wants to build the Kyrie brand. And that's going to be a hard thing to do, hard sell to do, being Robin to LeBron James' Batman. And it's a different dynamic than, let's say, Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant. Not even that, because Kobe felt the same way. He's like, look, I got to get from up under this dude. This dude got to either he got to go or I got to go so I can get my shine on. And it ended up being Shaq that went. But this situation with Kyrie, he's in LeBron's town. They won a championship. It was all about LeBron brought a championship to Cleveland. The block. Like the shot that Kyrie hit was like a asterisk. It was like a secondary thought. Like those things, if you're that guy, it has to wear on you. The other thing that has to wear on him as well is that, and I forget who I heard talking about this, so I don't want to take credit for this, but he and LeBron played championship basketball in the finals last year, and they won one game. They played championship basketball. Two of the best players in the league played championship basketball, and I'm saying this to say the same thing I said about Kevin Durant. Like, you might say that you was in the finals, you was close, or Kevin Durant and the Oklahoma City Thunder were close to beating the Golden State Warriors the year before. How could he leave? Well, maybe that was the best they had. And if you're Kevin Durant, if you're Kyrie, you know what it took just to do that. And it still wasn't good enough. In the case of Kyrie Irving, it wasn't even close to being good enough. So now I've got everything that I've come into the game to get almost, right? Everybody comes in, they want to win a championship. I'm recognized as one of the best in my position. Now let me go and do it for me. Somewhere else, too, not in Cleveland. Like, he didn't have no choice but to play in Cleveland without LeBron. LeBron left. He got drafted there. It sucked. Now let's move on. He want to go to New York. He want to go play for the Knicks. I heard Miami also, I think. And I heard Phoenix was another team. Wherever he ends up. I heard David Griffin, the former GM of the Kaep, was on the Jump today talking about it. And now, he felt like Kyrie was being brave. He was brave and did something that many people wouldn't do. That he went behind closed doors and was like, look, man, I'd like to be traded. Now, it leaked, and people were saying at one point there was LeBron's people who leaked it or whatever, that Kyrie wanted to be traded. And Stephen A. Smith said that LeBron wanted to kick Kyrie's ass because he wanted to leave, like crazy stuff like that. And took it personally when LeBron was like, "No, you're a clown. I ain't say that," or whatever. You know what I mean? But all in all, Kyrie wants to leave. I understand it, but I don't understand the fan reaction to, like, the negative fan reaction to it. Like, all these things that he ain't and he don't want to win and all this kind of stuff. And for what it's worth, you want that same control at your job. You want the ability to be mobile. If things ain't working out in one place, the ability to go somewhere else that you feel like will be a better fit for you. But for whatever reason, professional athletes can't have that. You side with the boss. Perfect example of that. Something I read today. And it goes to what I was talking about with David Griffin, why he says that the reason that he said that Kyrie Irving was being brave was because of something that a former NFL or NBA player, champion a couple times over, my man Hollywood Ron Harper, the remix king. Let me stop. I ain't gonna mess with my man Ron and his stutter. But he had some things to say about Kyrie Irving requesting a trade. In a quote, he says, "It's not a guarantee that the Cavaliers are going to trade him to a good team. I asked the guy, what happened to the old school? When a guy asked to get traded, you traded him to the sorriest team. That's the way it worked," end quote. Like, who's, like what kind of dude does that? What kind of dude, like, says that that's what should happen? You know what I mean? Like, and then, like, what do you do when the dude's on the sorry team and says he wants to get traded? Like, what if he's on the sorry team already? What do you do then? Like, none of this makes any sense. But it gets worse, if you can believe that. Like, what he's saying gets worse. He says, when I used to play on bad teams and you trained all offseason to play 82 games, you get to the first round and you lose. I don't even know what that means. Let me read it again. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. Quote, "When I used to play on bad teams and you trained all offseason to play 82 games, you get to the first round and you lose. You're guaranteed to play till June. The East is good, but you know that you're the best basketball team. I don't really understand what's behind it. Does anybody understand?" That's a quote. Does anybody understand what the hell Ron is talking about? Like, see, this is why. Couple things. Ron already can't. He already can't talk, right? Secondly, he old now. You put microphones in these old ass players' faces that believe that everything was better back then. None of the players got better. Technology hadn't gotten any better. Their athleticism hasn't gotten any better. Everything was better back then. The old school, the old days. He goes on to say, "Listen, this is the best part. Listen, the inmates are in charge. So when the inmates are in charge, nothing but bad things can happen, right?" Holy crap. You want to talk about Stockholm Syndrome and all these things and the slave mentality? Well, they can't do nothing without master. Where we gonna go? Ain't no freedom out there. Oh, come on, Ron. Come on, cuz. This dude got a right, if he has leverage enough, to go somewhere and play where he wants to play and not be punished by, as you say, getting traded to the sorriest team. This is why these dudes now put these Carmelo and LeBron, these guys put these no trade clauses in for foolishness like that. They take the power. A guy like Phil Jackson would have done something like that to Carmelo. He would have sent Carmelo's ass to Sacramento with something crazy, ridiculous. But Carmelo's like, "Nah, cuz you can't send me nowhere I don't want to be." You know why? Because me and my people were smart enough to put this here no trade clause in this situation. This is also why these cats put these opt-outs in their deals too, so they can always re-up. And just because of the ignorance of yesterday, of yesteryear, when players didn't understand that they could do these things, that they had to bow down and be subservient to whatever was handed to them. How the hell you think Ron Harper ended up with the Clippers? He was with the Cavs, man. The Cavs was like one of the top two teams in top couple of teams in the East when Ron Harper played. Yeah, he got broke up a little bit. They was like, nah, we're going to go with Craig Elo, cuz you take your ass out here to L.A. and just flounder. That dude was an awesome basketball player that turned into a role-playing point guard on championship teams. So, at the end of the day, he came out, all right. No one will really remember Ron Harper, but, he'll flash his rings and be like, look, I got these. I don't know how many he got, 4 or 5 of them. He got a bunch of rings, Bulls and Lakers. But this whole nonsense about the inmates are in charge. So when the inmates are in charge, nothing but bad things can happen. Tell that to Steph Curry. Tell that to James Harden. These dudes walking around with bank. Tell that to John Wall. Kevin Durant had a choice to leave $10 million on the table because he could. Nobody forced him to, which the NBA PA wasn't real happy with that because it wasn't like they was not going to pay him. Make them fools pay that luxury tax. That's what it's there for. You want to win? Charge it to the game. Let's go. But he didn't do that. Kevin Durant wanted to play the nice guy. This is the thing that happens with, you fans end up doing this to guys. They make poor business decisions to try to look good to the fans. None of you MFers at your job right now, you ain't trying to leave no money on the table. For who? For the next dude? Come on, man. But it's like a badge or a thing of honor when your favorite player does it. You're ridiculous and stupid for that. Couple of last things before you guys checking out Game of Thrones. That's my joint for the I'm real bad as to what's going on. I think I'm starting to get it now in the final season, how things are kind of matriculating and coming together. But I just think the show itself, the way it's done, is just so awesome. I vibe with it, man. I gotta watch it. That Insecure, it's ridiculously funny. Issa Rae, how that whole show was put together. Last year, I feel like it got crazy deep at the end, which I ain't really like. But now it's still on some silliness, but they got the underlying messages and the things, black dating and all this kind of stuff. It's really cool to see that on my television, man. To be honest with you, man. And I'm not even a dude that's always man, it's cool with black people on TV. I'm all in. I'm not. If it's whack, you know what I mean. But this is unwhack. It's the opposite of whack. I'm not sure if you guys gonna check out Hard Knocks. That's another thing that's kind of jumped the shark for me. I'm over it. I'm done with the whole Hard Knocks situation. I've seen everything that I think I need to see when it comes to Hard Knocks, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? So that's my whole that's my what you looking at segment that I hadn't done in forever and ever and ever, even before I took my break. Excuse me. But back to the NBA. Doc Rivers, finally. Me and my man Callaway used to joke about this all the time. When is Doc Rivers, the GM, gonna finally fire the coach? Or when is somebody gonna fire Doc Rivers, the GM? Well, it finally happened. Doc Rivers, the GM, has been fired. And now he is just strictly Doc Rivers, the coach. And good. Because Doc Rivers is so, and I hate saying this. I hate using this term, but I think it's appropriate here. He's so overrated. For whatever reason, people like Doc. And, excuse me, they choose to forget the Orlando Magic Doc Rivers. Or the Doc Rivers, even the Boston Doc Rivers before the Big Three. Before KG and Ray Allen got there, it's about to be a shakeup. Danny Ainge's ass about to get fired. Paul Pierce is about to get traded or something. He wasn't going to be a Celtic. And then it all just kind of came together. Rondo and, they brought Rondo up, drafted him, and KG came and Ray Allen came, and it came together to win a championship. And for some reason, I always keep thinking they won more than one, but it was just one. However good that team was, they won one ring. You know what I mean? So Doc Rivers he's written that. 3 Hall of Famers. He coached a team with 3 Hall of Famers to 1 championship. He's lived off of that. And then when it was time to rebuild, jump ship. That's the thing. That's the thing that we always kind of criticize people about. Doc Rivers gets no criticism for that. When it was time to rebuild, he was like, I ain't about that life. Yep. And they traded him like a player to the Clippers. And then, he got some more brownie points after your man, my guy, Donald Sterling, did his thing with the Magic Johnson situation and the Matt Kemp. He He's one of those black guys. He didn't want his side broad hanging around with Magic Johnson and Matt Kemp. You know what I mean? Like, look, I wouldn't either. I keep saying it. I wouldn't either because it's a good probability that you hanging around with Magic Johnson and Matt Kemp, they gonna give you the penis. You know what I mean? Those dudes are very, very, like, Matt Kemp is a good looking dude, and Magic Johnson just Magic Johnson. You know what I mean? Magic Johnson start telling your woman that I don't have AIDS no more, and I'm Magic. Well, he's probably gonna give her the penis. I'm just saying. So yeah, well anyway, Donald Sterling gave Doc Rivers another life. That's how he became the president of basketball operations or the GM or whatever in the first place, right? And now that ship is sailed because if you look at the team that he's on now and the team that he left in Boston, looky. That team in Boston is nice. It's gonna be nice. That team that's out there in LA right now, Blake Griffin is leading that team, which I like Blake. I like his game. It's him and DeAndre Jordan. Come on, son. CP3, he knew it too. I gotta bounce. Getting up out of here, man. This Austin Rivers thing, I know they tried to downplay it, but that's gotta be something though. Like, we used to joke about that. Me and Callaway when we was doing the Sports Kings, like, that's one of those things. You can't cut him. You can't cut your wife's baby boy and then be sitting around the dinner table like, yeah, that happened today. You know what I mean? Thanksgiving or whatever. Nah. Like, Austin Rivers is, like, pretty much on the squad as long as Doc is there is what it feel like. And when that's the situation, I don't care what nobody say, man. That's tough, especially in a professional setting like that. You know what I mean? Like, because you always, like, as a human being, you're going to have your natural biases to your folk. You know what I mean? To your son. You're going to have a natural bias to your son. You're going to make up excuses as to why you won't trade him or cut him or release him or whatever. You'll make up in your own mind rational ones too. Not even just run of the mill excuses. You'll make up, you'll rationalize the reason for not, getting rid of a guy like Austin Rivers that you brought in. And all these other bum ass players that Doc Rivers has bought in. Outside of the core, think about it. Outside of the core and Jamal Crawford, who is also gone, that team has been trash, man. Like respectable trash. Like they've been. I always call them the Atlanta Hawks West. Which, speaking of trash, this situation down here in Atlanta, oh my God, it's gonna be dumpster juice. You understand me? It's gonna be ridiculous, bad, and it was about time for it to happen. Tear the whole situation down, and we'll see how it works out. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm gonna try to go to a couple Hawks games this year, just because that's when I used to go to the Hawks game when it was like hella bad. You know what I mean? Just to be that dude to be like, yeah, I'm up in here. You know what I mean? They getting beat by 40, but yeah, I'm saying I'm doing this thing. I'm in here. I don't see 2 Chainz no more. T.I. ain't up in this joint no more because they horrible. They gonna be horrible next year, boy. They got a kid from Vanderbilt and Torian Prince and Kent Bazemore and freaking and Dennis Schroeder. Yeah, effing joy that situation. That's gonna be a love fest. Yeah, Coach Bud got he's got his work cut out for him. It's almost time to go because I can feel my mouth getting dry. I don't have no liquid in here, no water in here. So that leaves, with Doc Rivers being stripped of the president title, that leaves 2 guys left, Coach Tibbs and Coach Van Gundy, that are left being coaches and GMs. Coach Bud was one here in Atlanta. He got stripped of that situation quickly because I guess they said it had something to do with the Paul Millsap situation around the trade deadline. They losing Paul Millsap for nothing, and then Paul Millsap saying they ain't even offer him nothing. They ain't offer him a contract, which is why he's gone. They could have traded Paul Millsap, but they wanted so much for him at the trade deadline, which is like, why, man? Like, get what you can get. Because, like, you're not going nowhere in the playoffs, 1. And 2, what inevitably happened. He left anyway. Got a deal somewhere else, and you get left holding the bag with nothing. Before I get out of here, the last thing, Mikhail Prokhorov, majority owner, I guess, of the New Jersey. I keep doing that. The Brooklyn Nets. He seems to think he can get $2 billion, $2 billion, for that team. You know, if it comes down to that, if it comes down to him selling a majority share of that team, he feels like he can get $2 billion for it. This is per the New York Post. The Nets have many interested buyers in the franchise. Prokhorov, he hopes the sale would be worth about $2 billion. But they're specifically looking for Chinese investors in the team. The basketball team, owned by billionaire Russian Mikhail Prokhorov, hopes to fetch around $2 billion. But we hear one interested party has been trying to box out the others in the sale process. A source told On the Money in Alibaba executive vice chairman Joe, I guess this is Thai, has expressed an interest in the team, though reps for his family office, Blue Pool, deny it. Yeah, that's what they want to keep this kind of stuff quiet, man. I don't want to blow the lid on it. Reports suggest the Nets want to find a Chinese backer. Not surprising given the success of Yao Ming with the Houston Rockets, which are also for sale. It would be equal to Steve Ballmer. The $2 billion would be equal to what Steve Ballmer brought the Clippers for. According to Forbes, the Nets are worth a little less than $2 billion. Here's the thing, though. Some people mention this to me on Facebook, on social media, that like if the Clippers can sell for $2 billion, you know, you got the biggest borough in the biggest city in America, Brooklyn. Yeah, it should be worth $2 billion. The problem with that is, like Steve Ballmer, or what's my man's name, Donald Sterling, that was a forced sale. Like he had to sell the team per the NBA. So like I can charge you what the hell I want to. Like if you gonna make me sell my crib, first of all, you got to find me a buyer, and then I get to charge that buyer what the hell I want to. And that's what happened. He was like, I'll sell it. How's $2 billion sound? And dude was like, all right, cut the check. Let's go. You know what I mean? So now that's become like the standard, but the situation is different. Unless Mikhail Prokhorov get on the phone and start talking about his side, start talking to his side broad, while she records him saying racist stuff about big time athletes and him not wanting her to be around them. I don't know. I mean, I don't really know how that's going to work out for the kid. $2 billion for the Nets? And then two, at least at the very end of the day, with the Nets, with the Clippers, you know, you had some star power involved in the situation. You had CP3, you had DeAndre, you had freaking Blake, you had Doc Rivers, the coach, you know, who everybody seems to love. It was an attractive sale, man. An inspired fan base. Brooklyn has none of those things. Like, if you buy that team, you gotta build all that. It's like a flip, like a house. You gotta gotta do a new kitchen in here, put some new floors down, cabinets. Got to get in here and take all this stuff out of this bathroom, put some towel in the showers. You got to do some work, man, with the Nets. You know, the Clippers were pretty ready rock, man. And, you know, you had the spotlight on them, again, based on the Donald Sterling situation. You had the spotlight on them as well. So everything kind of like played in the favor of Donald Sterling when it was time to play. I mean, it's time to sell the team. With this guy, Mikhail Prokhorov, not so much. Like, very last thing I want to talk about, and I can't believe I didn't say anything about this earlier, and I meant to. This weird thing that happened. I don't know where this girl is from, but she just got sentenced to jail, like 15 months in jail. I'm sure you guys heard about this. This girl who had an online relationship with a kid, I guess that was younger than her, and convinced him to kill himself. And for that, she's going to jail for that. I'm not really sure. Like, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I got questions about this. Because this seems weird to me. And first I was thinking, like, okay, was the kid like, what's the word I'm looking for? Special, mentally handicapped, or what's the like the PC word for this? Like, mentally disabled kid that she did this to. Like, in that case, I think, yeah, there's some culpability there. But if it's like just a regular kid that apparently already wanted to kill himself, and she, as I've heard people describe it, pushed him over the edge. Like, I don't know. I think of course it's a bad guy move. It's a bad person move to do that to somebody, especially the way he described it. She had this dude sitting in the car or his truck getting carbon monoxide poisoning. And then when he was like, is this really happening? And wanted to bounce, she was like, get your ass back in the car. and to start calling him a wuss and all these kind of things, punking him out to make him kill himself, or, you know, whatever. I don't know if I feel comfortable saying make him kill himself. Like, that's weird over the phone. Like, and it's not even over the phone. It was over text message. So it's not like she's talking him through it. Or was it over the phone? I'm not sure. But it's weird. Like, she got to go to jail for that. And it's like, over a year. And she'll probably get out before then. But, like, golly. That's like, it's precedent setting. I think something like that happened before on a college campus. That someone killed themselves based on being outed or something like that. And the dude that outed the person was in court. I'm not sure that he got convicted of anything. I'm not sure how that ended up. But this is a situation where someone actually talked someone into killing themselves. And they did it. And it's something in my mind that says, I don't understand how that happens. like I've never understood it. Like when we start talking about like terrorism and all that kind of stuff, like how do you convince someone to hate someone else so badly that you'll strap a bomb to yourself and also not just kill them, but kill yourself as well? And for that, in that situation, I kind of have a little bit of a, I don't even call it an understanding, but the linchpin to that is religion, right? Because they promise things in the afterlife and all these kind of things, and things that might be much better than what people are experiencing here on earth. Okay, sweet, whatever. But still, you still got to convince somebody that that's a thing. Like, we don't like them so much that you should be willing to kill yourself in order to kill them as well. And in this case, this girl didn't even kill herself. She was just like, or there was no one else involved. She was just like, you need to kill yourself. Her online boyfriend, like I don't believe they ever met or something like that, which is another thing that's weird. Like, it's just white people problems, man. Like this kind of stuff, we as bruhs, we too worried about people killing us, like really killing us. To be like, yeah, man, my girlfriend gonna talk me into killing myself. What? I don't know, man. I mean, shout out to her, man. The power of suggestion that she found her one. She definitely found her the right one for that. Please believe it. All right, that's going to do it. That's going to do it for today. First show back after a couple months off. Hopefully, I won't promise anything, but hopefully they'll get better from here on out. Don't forget, the One Mic with Big Mike Fantasy Football League is on and popping. You guys, make sure you send me your emails to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Send me with the subject line, Fantasy Football. You can also do that via my website. Go to the contact page, do it from there. I'll get it and I'll reply with the link to the league so you can sign up. 12-team league. I think I got 9 teams left to fill. We're going to try to do it in the next couple of weeks so I can set up my fantasy football situation for the season, get my fantasy football expert ready to rock and roll for the season to help us out with, draft strategy and setting our lineups during the season and all that kind of stuff. If you missed any of the show, it is available on demand at Spreaker.com. Download the Spreaker app, too, for your phones. You can also catch it on TuneIn, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. I got to get my subscribers up. And, of course, on the website, onemicwithbigmike.com, which I do have to update. Shout out to everyone who joined me in the chat room. Big L, my man, I am No Doze, the homie Mark Jones, the texter, everybody who checked in on social media. I'm going to try to have the Facebook live stream popping for you guys on Wednesday, man. And hopefully I have a guest for you guys on Wednesday as well. But make sure you follow me on social media at One Mic with Big Mike. I'll give you guys all the updates and what's going on with the show between now and Wednesday. Until then, you guys be good to you, be good to each other. Say it that way. And remember, all you need is one mic.